I'm the world's greatest superhero. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Pardon my French? Fuck those fuckers.
Evening, everybody, or should I say cheers. So tonight I'm going to be rambling about the brand new Amazon show, The Boys, and holy fuck, I have no idea where this came from. I know it's based on a whole bunch of comics, actually, by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. I'm sorry if I got the names wrong there. And wow, yeah, it is actually something really refreshing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy the Marvel movies, not so much the DC, though I can still get a little bit of enjoyment out of those. But to have something like this, which is so, I don't know, sort of naughty.
Sporty fucking Spice, what's she up to?
Really, really naughty. And sort of, you know, out of the furnaces of freshness, I suppose. Freshness, furnace, really? Anyway, yeah, it's a really, really enjoyable take on the superhero genre. Basically, you've got these soup guys out there and girls, and they are they're just normal guys, normal girls. They have no clue how to act with their superpowers. It's not like something from, I don't know, Batman or Superman, where these guys turn into, I don't know, morally superior people. Maybe not Batman to a certain degree, but basically most of the comic books are people wanting to help each other or help citizens who are not as powerful as them, but not as shit in this one. Oh no, you've got superheroes in this who are basically revered as gods. They are loved as celebrities like Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, etc. And they even get invited to, you know, this whole Christian sort of fundamental, let's praise Jesus, Lord, and all that kind of stuff. So they really are loved, and it is fantastic to see these guys being complete jerks. I mean, seriously, they're absolute arseholes. The leader of the pack, as it were, is Homelander, who literally looks like Superman walking around. Only his cape actually is the stars and whatever they call it in America, the flag. So he walks around and he is, yeah, he's one of the seven who, it's him, Homelander, and another guy called Deep, is that right? Deep by Chase Crawford, looking at my notes over here. And a whole bunch of motley crew. I'm not going to give too much away before, you know, I don't want to spoil it for you. And they basically can do what they want. They have a company called Voight, I think it is, who basically run their PR and who are almost in charge of them to the point where you can't be in charge of a person. You can, you know, laser you in the face, which is what Homelander can do. He can also fly like Superman, and he has super strength, etc., etc. So he's basically sort of facsimile of what Superman is in the comics. And it's, like I say, it's really refreshing to see this, because these guys are insecure. They don't know what they're doing. The actor, I remember watching it, and I kept thinking to myself, who is Homelander? And the reason I kept talking about Homelander right now is because he's one of my favorite characters of any comic series right now, or even movie for that matter. He's just brilliant. He's an absolute arsehole, don't get me wrong. Really, he's an arsehole. And I was thinking to myself, who the hell is he played by? And it's actually Anthony Starr, who was in Banshee. Only this time he's in a role that's so different to that I could barely recognize him. I think it's the hair, it's the suit, it's the makeup, and he is brilliant in this. Apparently the actor also didn't think he was going to get it. And I can see why, because maybe the show was looking for, I don't know, people that are just a bit more obviously superheroes. Not to say this guy doesn't pull it off. He certainly does. They've also chosen a couple other characters like Erin Marathi, who plays Starlight, a very, very sort of young, in her 20s girl who's just been accepted or invited into the Seven, and now she has to basically navigate her way through PR, navigate her way through what is expected of her from these assholes, and also try to remain true to herself. So needless to say, some rather horrible things happen to her. So that's the one side of the things. You've got the soups over there. Also, sort of notable mentions out there are some absolutely brilliant characters, like Speed Force guy, who's obviously a rip-off of, not Speed Force, but whatever. He's a rip-off of A-Train, that's right. A-Train is a complete rip-off of The Flash, and this guy's got some serious issues. Anyway, and then on the other side, we have The Boys, after which the show is called. Now, the leader of these guys is Cole Irvin, who plays Billy. What's that? I don't know why I forget his name. Billy Butcher, that's right. Because I keep thinking it's such a cliched name for a big, hard-ass guy. And Cole Urban is brilliant in this. I mean, the guy's a New Zealander, and he rips off an English accent like you cannot believe. I suppose it's because of the dialogue, too. He gets to swear like a trooper in this. He drops a cunt word and fuck word every second sentence, and he's just a general badass. Now, his role, or at least that's what he thinks it is to sort of hunt down these guys and stop them from, you know, doing what they're doing. He doesn't like soups, and there's a reason why he doesn't. Not going to give it to you, of course. You can watch the fucking show. It's only 8 episodes, and you'll really enjoy it. So he's joined with his motley crew. He basically gets, he jumps into the life of Jack Quaid, who is a character, who plays the character Huey, who is about to get engaged, or he is engaged to a lady, and yeah, things end pretty badly for him and her, or at least for her. So yeah, he kind of gets on board with the idea of going against the Supes, and you can kind of see why, because these guys are just generally arseholes. They can get away with murder, literally, and they're joined by Frenchie, they're joined by a few other characters too. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this down to bare minimum of names and characters and etc. Just because A, I can't remember half of them, and B, because of spoilers. And yeah, things don't go very well for these guys at all. It is funny, I have to say, and at the same time, it's also heartbreaking. So yeah, anyway, so that's the two sides of it. You've got good guys against the bad guys. You're not quite sure who they are at most of the time, though you kind of do know Homeland is just an asshole, period. And he's so brilliant. Anyway, enough of the man crush Nick. So yeah, I would say that the show certainly does a very good job of portraying these new sort of superheroes. Apparently it's quite different to the comics that it's based on. The story does deviate quite considerably. Thank you very much, Andre, for giving me this, and for Avo for information on that. There are a couple of characters thrown in there that weren't originally in there, like Translucent Man. I think it's Translucent Man. I love one of the character. One of the lines is like, "You're invisible. You're not fucking translucent. Do you even know what that means?" And a few other characters are taken out of this. Certain situations which are quite terrible do happen in this series. There's 8 episodes, and yeah, it does a very good job of I suppose following some of the ideas in the original. The books there're quite a few of them. I forget how many there were. There's quite a few of them. I think Andre said he hadn't finished the last few, 8, 10, or something like that. Anyway, there's only 8 episodes at the moment, and it has already been given a green light for season 2 on Amazon, and it was actually given a green light before it even landed. At the moment, thank you very much, computers, for telling me my thing's dying, my battery's dying. At the moment, it's sitting on 9.1% on IMDb, and I really can see why that is. It's sitting on 76% on Rotten Tomato. I can also kind of see why that is, because fans of the originals comics obviously will not be happy with something that deviates as much as this does, or any comics for that matter, comic series. So I can see that. I would certainly give it around the 8.5 side of things, because it is very well made, very well acted. It's very well written. Okay, sometimes the characters are a little bit redundant. Like, for example, you have deep and towards the end of but towards the end of the 8 run episodes that run, you got characters who are sort of outside of the main plot, and you jump back to them and you're like, why are we jumping back to you? You're not actually affecting the overall plot right now. We love seeing you, don't get me wrong, because you're fucking funny, or you're really, really, really quirky or interesting to see. But they kind of do deviate, and they go off on their own kind of thing. It kind of reminds me of almost like season 2 of Stranger Things, where you had the 2 characters go off, they do their own things, you keep jumping back to them, but they don't overly affect the overall story of the first season anyway. Yeah, it ends on, I have to say, it's not a spoiler, don't worry, I was a bit underwhelmed with the ending. It's very good, don't get me wrong, thematically it's very, very good, emotionally it's very, very good, but don't expect, I suppose, like a Marvel, you won't expect things falling from the sky, whether it be cities or spaceships. It is just very well done for a setup for the next, and you can see very obviously that they know that they're going to be getting another, I don't know, the money's been raining down on these guys, I think. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it really is fun to watch bad guys act like such assholes. And again, Carl Urban, brilliant in this, absolutely phenomenal in this. The guy really does have acting chops on, and I look forward to seeing what he's going to do with Butcher in the second season, especially with what happens in the first season. So yeah, go out, have a watch of this. Don't watch it if you're under 18, because it is, like I say, it's a hardcore comic book. It is visceral. It is dirty. There are sex scenes that are naughty sex scenes, and also people putting their fingers in people's lungs, or not lungs, sorry, what was it? Gills, which was probably the most disgusting scene. Also, one of the funniest scenes was definitely with a dolphin, but I won't go into that. Anyway, guys, catch you later, and I hope you enjoy the show.